Lightning like Steve McQueen. I'm in the fast lane when the light turns green. And I built tough, I ain't nothing but grit. Cause I made rugged blood, sweat, and spit. Yeah, like a horse I fly. Better push yourself in for a bumpy ride. I like to play hard, but I work harder. And I weather the storm cause I'm built stronger.
What is up, ladies and gentlemen? We are back. We are live. It is the Freight Coach Morning Show, the top morning show in transportation, coming to you guys every single weekday, 8:30 a.m. Pacific, 10:30 Central, to break down some industry headlines. And most importantly, provide some actual insight into what you can do with all of this information. If this is your first time tuning in, welcome. This is the real side of freight, ladies and gentlemen. And I say that every day. What do I mean by that? I say that because I only speak to transportation professionals on this show, as well as my twice a week long form podcast, because I want to talk to the right individuals who have done what you're looking to do or who are currently doing what you're trying to achieve, so you can take all that information, apply it, utilize it, and see a meaningful difference in your business and your life. It's one of the many, many reasons why I proudly fly that American flag behind me every single day. A, we're the greatest nation on earth, but B, I'm living my American dream, and I want to help each and every one of you live yours as well. Tuesday, here we go. Tuesday solo show today, you guys. I'm trying to get some guests lined up for later this week here. But, you know, holiday times are always tough to get people to come on the show and everything. But I'm going to come in here and talk the shit every single day, you guys, because that's what I do, right? We do that every single day, you guys. Let me see here. Corey Buchan, what is up? Watching over on YouTube. He says, good morning. Let's effing go. Michael Baldwin, good morning from San Diego. Michael, I'm casting this out here because you live in San Diego. San Diego is my favorite city to visit here. And I put this on my vision board recently because I fell in love with San Diego, that I'm going to buy the Padres one day. So I'm just putting that out there. I believe in speaking everything into existence and manifesting all of that stuff out there, you guys. But, you know, we got some good articles we're going to break down. You guys talking about some social media, influencer marketing, customer relationships, and then some Supreme Court stuff that's going on in the industry. Diesel went down again, which is always a welcome sight. $4.14 a gallon nationwide out there. I know that there's some people celebrating that it's dropped, 60 cents or whatever. But like, let's be honest, you guys, diesel is up an exponential amount over these last couple of years. There's no denying it. I get all of this information from the EIA.gov. You can go out there and check out the fuel chart, and it shows you guys all the historical pricing data and everything that's out there. This also helps you have a better understanding. If you're bidding out RFPs, or if you're bidding out a customer and they only want you to bid line haul, this gives you an idea to figure out what is the national fuel surcharge that's out there. I have some customers where it's like 50 some cents a mile. I have others that it's 40. There isn't a set rate that's out there, but that gives you a better understanding of bidding that freight in the long term, you guys, because that's a very real thing. The larger the customer that you get in with, a lot of them want you to bid line haul only on their freight. And then they have that accessorial chart that comes along with it for your layovers, stop off fees, TARP fees, whatever that looks like, you guys. So that's one thing to keep in mind as you're out there prospecting and making stuff happen out there in the real world. Let me see, you guys. I got freight moving today. So, again, if this is your first time tuning in, I'm not just a guy who talks into a mic, although it seems like I talk a lot of shit. I do, but I am running real companies inside of the transportation industry. And we got freight moving right now, you guys. We've got a bunch of shipments moving. It's actually probably going to end up being one of our busiest weeks that we've had. A lot of that has to do with my friends up at Green Screens up in my left, whatever side of the screen. You guys see their logo up there. But I use them because they have the most accurate real-time pricing data. And a lot of my customers right now are all same-day spot market freight. We get in the door. Yes, we have a couple of RFP customers, but that journey with a lot of your customers, and again, I meant to say this, but I used to do Tuesday training topics out here, you guys. So I'm going to give you guys some free nuggets on the real journey of onboarding some of your customers that you're going to go with. A lot of the freight you're going to start with is going to be same day. It's going to be last minute. It's going to be holiday freight, i.e. what I've been talking about here, you guys. This is why you don't stop prospecting. It's because this is when you can actually get an opportunity out there. Green Screens has the most accurate real-time pricing that there is. There's no doubt about it. Every shipment I'm moving this week was one based off of the rates provided on Green Screens. But why I'm saying this to you guys, as you're going in there, a lot of people think that you're going to get in the door, you're going to get access to all this business, but that's simply not the case. It takes a lot. The reality is when you get onboarded with a customer, say they have multiple facilities, they're going to start you at the one that has the highest failure rate, because you would be a low risk, high reward opportunity. Where if you come in and say you do actually have capacity in the areas that we all say we do, that's a major win for them. But if you don't, and then you fuck up the first couple of shipments, they'll just kick you out of their network. And then it's not no harm, no foul, but it's a low risk, high reward opportunity with them. But that's how you're going to start. It's going to be very sporadic, right? You want to think that, oh, hey, I just got onboarded with this shipper. They have all these locations. Guess what? Right now in today's market and how this industry really is, it's proven, right? You're going to get one shipment. Heck, you're going to deliver a couple of shipments, and then you might not see another one for a couple of weeks, perhaps, right? Like this is a very real scenario. I found myself in that this year, where we onboarded a new shipper. We moved a couple of loads for him early on, and then we haven't heard from him since. There's, again, it takes a long time to build up a lot of these partnerships that a lot of people want to sit there and pound their chests on and say. And that's why it's like my company motto is that one truck at a time, because you have to every single time. You can do 1,000 truckloads right for a customer, but if you got to earn the 1,000 in first, right? You're not entitled to anything. And you got to go out there and you got to earn your keep, especially in the market that we're in right now. You really have to earn your keep out there, because it is highly competitive, right? It is very highly competitive out there. But again, just keep doing the right thing, keep bidding on that freight, and it's going to come in stages, right? You're going to come in, you're going to move a couple of loads, you're going to earn the next couple, and then realistically, it'll probably take you 6 months to get that consistency, right? Where it's like, boom, I got 4 or 5 loads a day. Hypothetical example, I got 4 or 5 loads a day coming out of this location. And that takes a lot of time, you guys. The customers of you just going in and having access to all their freight does not exist. And if it does, and you have it, congratulations. You're clearly better than I am at selling, because I've never gotten that opportunity to where, as a broker, I've been able just to go in the door. And yes, I've been added to spot markets and being able to bid on freight. But in today's market, it's very, very highly competitive, and you bid on a lot and you don't necessarily convert a lot of those bids. So that's kind of how it's going to go for a lot of you guys. Pay attention to that as you're going on. Again, execute, execute, execute. That's all you need to focus on. Sometimes you're not going to make money on a shipment. You're going to lose money on a shipment, but you got to think long-term all the time. And I know that sucks. Losing money is not fun. I'm a business owner, you guys. I've lost money. All right. Real money too. Not play money, you guys. I'm bootstrapping everything, right? So it's like every dollar counts. And you got to push through some of those times as you're building that stuff up, because it does get to a point where you build up that carrier network, you have that customer network. You're never on autopilot, but it's a lot different than what you're experiencing today if you're building up there. So that's my little Tuesday training that I like to say, you guys. It's one truck at a time. Everything is earned out there. Devon McKinney, good morning. Thank you for tuning in, sir. Halana Hoyt, good morning to you. Thank you for tuning in. Mark Jones, create a good day, everyone. Erica Hamilton, great morning to you as well. All right, you guys, let's get into some articles here. Let's break some stuff down and get it going on this beautiful Tuesday morning here. First article we are going to break down is going to be from ttnews.com. Trucking firms using social media influencers for promotion. This is something that I am a big, big fan of. Before I go any further, you guys, all the links to the articles will be uploaded on the Freight Coach YouTube channel, as well as the Coffee with the Freight Coach audio only replay, which is available on iTunes and Spotify almost immediately after the show, you guys, because as always, I want you to do your own research on all this stuff and learn a little bit more about it. Anyways, back to the influencer world. Trucking marketers looking for a leg up on social media are turning to AI software that can quickly surface the absolute best influencers in that medium to promote their brand. i.e., you're looking at them. No, I'm just kidding. Uh, for many, the virtual space is perfect for recruiting new drivers as well as picking up new customers. Social media influencers have become partners in our efforts to recruit, brand, and positively impact, the trucking profession, said Chris Repskowski. I've definitely butchered that last name. Sorry about that, Chris. President of marketing and communications at the trucking logistics firm Bennett. Bennett International Group, based in McDonough, Georgia, ranks number 43 on Transport Topics, largest for hire carriers out there. Jane Jazray, she's the CEO of driver training firm Carrier's Edge. Had her on my show. That was a great episode. Also sees the value in working with social media influencers. If a carrier wants to reach existing or potential customers this way, it can work really well. She said, scoring a home run with influencer hinges heavily on your campaign's execution. Unsurprisingly, a number of fleets have had especially good results tapping into social media influencers to recruit drivers, especially young drivers. I think that there's a guy who wears a backwards hat and an orange shirt every single day that has been talking about this for a very long time. You need to be on social media as a business, whether you are a trucking company, freight brokerage, whatever that looks like, you guys. That's where the next generation of talent is going to be. All right. They are not on Indeed.com or LinkedIn Jobs looking for jobs. They are out there on TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, X. Sorry, I think they're rebranded. They're on that all the time. And that's where I think everything is going to be here soon from a marketing perspective. That the best recruiters in our industry are all over social media. Shout out to my man Brent Orsuga with Pinnacle Growth Advisors. Dude is all over the place on there because he sees the value in social media marketing, you guys. That's where everybody's hanging out all day. Where do you go when you've had a shitty day? Scroll through social media, right? So why wouldn't you invest your marketing efforts in there or into podcasting? Hint, hint. No, I'm just kidding. It makes sense. And then says, we have found many content creators are younger generation drivers, and they are sharing about their journey getting into the profession, advancing to their next step. Prospects see their own journey and their own age in these influencers and feel comfortable asking them questions. Then it goes on, sourcing drivers as influencers enables a trucking business to sell valuable aspects of trucking. An industry influencer can be a great way to showcase the lifestyle, said Bruce Outridge, the host of the Lead Pedal podcast for drivers. Which again, we have a massive retention issue out there, right? Like I talked about this, I believe it was yesterday. There was a massive push of individual. I did talk about this yesterday. There was a massive push of people during these last couple of years that bought Sprinter vans and just drove around the country, right? They drove around the country and they wanted to become a nomad and get out of the office and everything else. What do truck drivers do? Drive around the country. They get to see some pretty cool views out there. If you're following any of these drivers, you get to see some views from the road. Those are some of my greatest memories as a child, is driving the country with my dad in the cab of this truck, right? So it's like, why wouldn't you have something like that to recruit that nomad individual who doesn't want to work in the confines of an office, who wants to be in different states all the time and seeing different scenery, you guys? It's a different group of individuals that are out there. They're out there. They're going to be there in every generation. Let me see here. Sean Snipper, director of marketing at Transervice, recommends reaching out to NASCAR drivers and country music singers to brand. Okay, hold on. I don't know what that has to do with trucking. Anyways, forming partnerships with influencers said is an engaging way to bring your brand out there. Transervice is a truck leasing and dedicated contract carriage headquartered in Lake Success, New York. No matter your goal, attracting new business or new drivers, you'll find that AI tools designed for finding your best bet when it comes to social media influencers are a far cry from traditional methods out there. Specifically, the traditional shot in the dark approach has been limited to guessing which influencers might be a good fit, trusting without verifying the number of followers that an influencers claim to have, and assuming followers are actually engaging with the content produced on that. Thankfully, the days of the let's hope for the best approach are over. And then it goes on to serve that they can further search truckers, marketing I'm just kind of skipping around you guys because there's some stuff that's out there. But here's the thing. I think that, and this is one of those situations where I have obviously been able to grow a quote unquote following brand, whatever you want to call it, over these last couple of years. If you've been on social media ever, you've seen that there's a very distinct way that people start to create content. And I've witnessed this a lot, right? And I've seen this because frankly, you guys, a lot of these individuals who create a lot of content out there in the social media world, I inevitably hear from them at some point. They always want to join my show, which again, I'm always open to it. But I want to see how people perform because my thing is I want to improve the industry. That's my sole focus with this. I want to make the blue collar sexy again with all of my content. I want to put information out there every single day that people can apply to their business, see a difference and make a difference in their lives out there, right? Like, again, like I say every day. So I fly that American flag behind me, guys. I'm living my American dream. And we can utilize content now to help others, right? There's a lot of windshield time out there for our driver partners. There's a lot of stuff. We should be focusing more and more content on how to help them run a profitable business. Or same thing with the brokerage side. Are you talking about your experiences in the industry? Are you talking about the highs and the lows of this industry? Or are you just posting about how you're better than everybody else? Or are you going back to the victim mentality? And people need to talk about their stories, right? But I see this all the time. It gets more and more into the victim mentality content because it gets the most engagement, right? People love a lot of negativity out there. And I just don't want any part of it, right? I've talked about my struggles in life with a bunch of stuff, but I don't post about it every single day or every single week. I very rarely do I bring this stuff up. And I think like it's an effective way. And I think that that's what they meant by now you're not taking a risk on a content creator. I think you got to do it for a year. One of the most insulting DMs I get is, hey, I'm going to start a podcast. How do I find advertisers? And my response always is do it for free for a year and then come back to me. Then we can talk, because that's how long it took me to get my first advertiser, right? I did this for free every single day for a year before I got my first one. And I want to see more of that because again, it's so easy to get off track on what the content's for. And for me, if you're going to use social media to put your business out there and to recruit drivers and to attract talent and everything else, you want real creators. You want real people who aren't afraid to speak their mind. You don't want a polished version of it, because I think that's where a lot of people I think that's what a lot of people resort to is they want to say that they want to be like 80% authentic, right? They want to kind of say the right things. Like I've said all the time, and I'll say this again, you guys, I am unapologetically Chris Strawley. I am a man of faith. I believe in God. I love the United States of America. I love this country. I love what everything that capitalism stands for. Yes, there's a bad side to it, but I'm a capitalist at heart. I would love the free market. I love the competition. This is who I am as a person. I'm not going to change from that, right? Like there is no dollar amount that a potential brand could pay me to change my ways. And I want you to know this as somebody who's been doing this now for the better part of 4 years. All your advertisers want is you. They want the real you. They don't want a version of yourself that can't be backed up. And ironically, that's how you tell your real stories. That's how, but because like it's not the events of your past that you should keep telling. It's how you overcame those fucking things. That's what people want to hear. Because it's like, if you're in those positions where it's like, I'm nowhere in the clear in business, right? Like it's a constant evolution. I'm going to constantly be growing and evolving. But I can go back and talk about the early days in business. And I can talk about how the hardest part of business is the mental battle. It's what you go on between your ears right here. It has very little to do with outside influence, right? If somebody from the outside can influence how you feel about yourself, you're going to have a very hard time. All right. A very hard time. And then here's another thing too. Haters are not real. Okay. They're not. That's another thing that I see. Oh, the haters. I talk more shit than probably most people in this industry. And I've got a handful of people who've talked crap. And guess what? Don't reply. It's pretty simple. Don't reply. They're going to eventually go away. It's like a child. Anybody who wants to talk shit online, it's like a child throwing a temper tantrum. Stop paying attention to them. Guess what? They get over it really quick. They're only looking for the reaction. But I think if you hold true to yourself, because you might be listening to this and being like, you know what? I want to start creating content. I want to start building a brand because you know what? I'd like to open up that stream of revenue where I can work my job and then I can also promote other companies that align with me. All the companies that advertise with me align with me on my core fundamental value of improving the industry. I have conversations with them all. And you can do this, you guys. Like you can build a long-standing brand that people want to get involved in. But guess what? They want to hear from you. They don't want to hear from any other version but that. They want to hear about your story because it's relatable, right? People don't want the polished corporate BS that's out there. They really don't. That doesn't resonate with most people. Most people who come from the working class, they want to see other people who are like them doing shit. That's how you kind of go along with it. So if you're thinking about how am I going to create a brand and go for it, just start, right? Stop paying attention to the vanity metrics. Vanity metrics are irrelevant if your intentions are pure. And then furthermore, be you. Be unapologetically you. All right. Like I had just said what I had stood for. I'm a man of faith. I believe in God. I love the United States of America. I'm a capitalist. I love the free market. This is who I am. Hold true to that no matter what. Do not deviate away from that because that's why people are going to like you. All right. So that was the first article. That one went a little bit longer than I want, but you know, I see this stuff all the time that comes up, and social media is a very real tool to utilize, and you can use it for the good. All right. It's not always about the bad stuff that's out there. And that's one thing that you should focus on is that short-term vanity metric will get you a little bump, but people will stop paying attention if all you do is bitch and moan every single day, because it's not as bad as you always want to make it sound. And quote unquote, the haters and everything, you don't have a big enough brand to have that shit yet, right? Anyways, you guys, ttnews.com. Trucking firms use social media influencers for promotion. Let me see here. Catherine Whitehouse, good morning to you. Nadia Martin, I got your DM. I will be responding to that here at some point today. Sorry, I'm moving some freight. We got freight moving, Nadia. LinkedIn user, AKA Matt Fink. Matt, I am so glad to see you, bro. I know you've been extremely busy this year. Thank you for tuning in, as always, my friend. Says, just well done. Clickbait victimhood is short-lived and quickly forgotten. The content of your character, MA to MLK, amen to that. It's probably one of my favorite quotes of all time there, Matt. Definitely one of my favorite quotes of all time is from MLK there, about the content of your character will forever be remembered. Tracy St. Clair, what is up on YouTube? Mark Jones says, true. Matt says, also, never argue with an idiot. They will only drag you down to your level and then pummel you with experience. Very, very true, Matt. Very, very true. Yeah, man, it's quick too, because if you couldn't tell, I like to get snarky really quick, and sarcasm can potentially be my middle name as well, but I do my best. Micah, what is going on? She says, love that conversation today. Appreciate you tuning in, Micah. Nadia says, love it. All right, you guys. Now, the second article that we are going to break down. This one is from my friends, went to public school over at Fleet Owner, and that's customer relationship management keys to success in 2024. And it goes on to talk about a CRM, you guys. And this is, and I chose this article because of this. CRMs are great, right? They are a phenomenal tool. A lot of the technology out there is phenomenal if you can afford it, right? And that's the things that aren't talked about, right? Everybody wants to say, get this tool, get this tool, get this tool. But these tools are very expensive. I mean, there's some software out there that I saw that's like $3,000-$4,000 a month for a base level contract, you guys. Like, that's a very finite group of businesses that can afford something like that, because that's just one component. I am not affiliated with Microsoft at all, but a great CRM, if you're just starting, is called Microsoft Excel. Excel spreadsheets, I honestly still use them, even though I have a CRM, because shout out to my friends over at SPI Logistics, who I'm an agent for. Phenomenal tech stack for you guys to utilize right away. So if you're looking to start your own brokerage, the agent model is always a great route to take. But if you're not, say you're out there and you're bootstrapping that shit, right? A CRM is not necessary. It doesn't improve customer retention by any stretch of the imagination, because I've never had a shipper ask, "Hey, what CRM are you using to follow up with me on?" You can track all of that information manually. Now, yes, it does take a little bit more time. But again, if you're bootstrapping it, if you're trying to figure out where you're going to try and stretch $1 into $7, you only need a Microsoft Office subscription. It costs $100 a year. But because it also talks about in this article, and this is a good article, right? I'm not going to mention any names or anything because, it talks about the good and the bad of it. And that's what I really liked about this, because some of the articles that you see out there only talk about the great. This is what you need. This is what is going to get you business. It's not going to get you business. It makes your life a lot easier where it can free up more time for you. Yes, I'm a massive fan of technology and I will always sit there and talk about that, but you don't need it, right? I think that all the money that you could take to run a CRM, say it's $100 a month. This is just a hypothetical example. Say there's a CRM that charges you $100 a month to use. You could take 50 of those dollars, get some Starbucks gift cards, $5 Starbucks gift cards, and then take another $50 in gas to drive around your local community once a month, because that's probably what it'll cost you these days. Hint, hint, gas prices. It's not cheaper right now, no matter what people are trying to say. Anyways, that's not the topic here. Take that $100 and invest in a face-to-face relationship with somebody. Drive around your local area, spend $50 on gas, $50 on Starbucks gift cards, and go around and introduce yourself to people. That is the best way to develop business if you're balling on a budget and you're trying to figure things out. Go shake hands. All right. I still do this and I will forever do this inside of my organization. I don't know if Chris Jolly personally will be able to do this all the time, but I always believe in going out and meeting people, drivers included. All right. Customers, drivers, go out and meet people, shake hands, develop real business relationships, you guys, because one thing that I don't see enough on is not only is that the most effective tool to earn people's business, but that's how you take care of your driver partners as well. Because there's never an emphasis on that from a broker. It's always, how do I get more shippers? You can get shippers. Getting shippers is easy, but can you retain them through quality service? How do you get quality service? Partnering with the right carriers and doing it a little bit differently. So get out there and shake hands, you guys. I don't think it's as hard as we're trying to make it seem. But again, this is a good article. It's a quick read about the CRMs. And if you're at that point where you can afford it, look into it, you guys. Look into it by all means. Fleetowner.com. And that is talking about customer relationship management keys to success out there. But that's going to be it, you guys. That was a quick 30 minutes, you guys. I got freight going on, so I got to jump in, and we're going to end it a little bit earlier, about a minute and a half earlier than I normally do, because I got loads picking up. Just got a driver confirmed arrive. I got a driver who's making multiple turns for me out in Florida right now. He just dropped his first turn. He's heading back to the shipper to do his second turn. So yeah, we're making stuff happen, you guys. But that's going to be it. As always, if you guys got value in what you heard, subscribe to the show, you guys. Share it out there to your network. That's how we're number one. That's how we're going to continue to reach more people and help more people. Most importantly, though, is because if you see value, your network will see value as well. I appreciate you guys. I love you guys. And we'll be talking to you soon.